Hello, everybody, and welcome to Art First. And hi, Brian. How you doing? Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday. How's it going? I feel like we're hitting a new season. It's getting cold out. People are starting to come back in. Maybe they're looking at their NFT collections again.
I hope so. That's what we all do. We gather around the fire. We keep warm by looking at all of our art that we collect.
yeah. We power on our machines. We run some AI programs, and we just let that heat the house.
It heats the house and warms our hearts, man. It's going good, man. It's going good. I'm a little tired. I'm a little exhausted, but I'm excited.
Yeah, you had a big announcement today. Congratulations. Everyone should go look at Adam's Twitter to watch a video of him after the show.
After the show. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how those auctions go in a week or two.
Thank you. Yeah. Next week is the auctions. That's phase two. Phase one was like an invite thing. Phase two is on Super Rare curated, and phase three we'll talk about later is like with OpenSea. But that's for a whole other time. And I appreciate all the love that everyone's given me on that because it's been a lot of work, and I'm really proud of it. But I am here today not to talk about me. I am here to talk about our guest, and I am so excited. Both you and I come from the animation backgrounds, and we're just gonna geek out today with a fellow animator, a professor, just a brilliant artist in terms of just the meticulous nature of his work. It just like every part about his work and his process blows me away, and I can't wait to learn all the fun little details about it. I don't even want to keep talking. I just want to bring them in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Art First. We've got Jake Freed. Hello.
What's up? How's it going?
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
I'm good. It's great to see both of you. Adam, congrats on the drop. And Brian, I've been following your Brinkworks project. So cool what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, dude.
It's a great
Great
project.
to be with you guys today.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I mean, like Adam said, we're all animators here, and so I think we all come from that background, and we all respect. How do I put it? The painstaking process of animation. And when it comes to this space, I think you might have the most painstakingly difficult process of everyone.
Yes. Yeah. It's
or Zen-like, depending.
I do wonder about that, because anytime that I've done work like highly detailed work, it is really nice to get into that groove where you just kind of tune out the rest of the world. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with your work, but we're going to show some of it here. But it really is fascinating in terms of also what you're able to accomplish with what I perceive to be minimal tools or a minimal tool set. But maximalist in its detail and I don't know, work ethic, intention. Like there's so much going on. Like I'm gonna put your work up as we just kind of go through stuff. But let's see here. This your work tends to be monochromatic. I've seen some other colors, but it also sets a tone with, like, you pick up a color palette that's very sparse. And let the work speak for itself. But man, just if anyone's looking at this right now, right? I look at each of these images, these stills, and I just know what it would take to do a still like this, let alone thousands of this. Like, this is where my mind breaks, buddy. So tell us.
You're landing on a lot of qualities of my work and I'm thinking about that right now. Hold on one second. So I'm actually working on a 1-minute piece this past year. There are 24 frames per second in ones. Every frame is unique drawing. So that's 1,440 frames. Right now I'm on the 1,306th frame of the piece I've been working on. So I'm like really close to the end. And the way I think about my work changes throughout the process. What you were saying at the beginning is true. It's like, it's meditative, it's slow. It just takes so long. You sort of like forget about the rest of the world. You even forget about kind of finishing a work of art. You're sort of just like, the process is what it's about. It's like meditating over this drawing. and losing yourself. But then once you start to get towards the end of a piece, you're like, I'm almost done with it. And I'm like, it's painful. It is physically painful. Like my hands hurt. Like I work at a standing desk all day and my eyes hurt. And because I'm almost done with it, and I'm getting that spirit of like, oh my God, you made something. I can't wait to share it. I think it's like really good. I sort of avoid those thoughts for so long that now that I'm working on it with like 5 seconds left to animate, it's so hard. I want to be done with it basically.
Mm-hmm.
Also throughout the process, I don't really know where I'm going. You're watching these, like it finds itself as I make it over time. And now that I'm almost at the end of this piece, it's like I'm losing that quality. It's like, oh, it's almost over. And like I like my pieces to loop and kind of start where they end where they started. And so I'm like kind of tying a bow in my brain of the whole piece. And I can't, like I'm about to go into the weekend with my kids and like not be able to work on it as much for the next few days. And like, that's painful for me. It's kind of like, it's like I'm holding my breath a little bit. But all that to say, like I set the system up for a reason. I don't know completely, and I don't really need to know why, but like for whatever reason, this is what works for me as a creative person. I've worked in a lot of different ways. I still, fuck around and do different things, but like this is where my best work comes from. And there is something about the like beating yourself up, making it impossibly difficult, making it take a really long time. That thing we always tell artists, like, don't be a perfectionist, almost like embracing that horrible quality of perfectionism. For whatever reason, that makes me like satisfied that I tried hard enough, maybe, or I don't know what it is. I also just like the quality of it when it's, and you might see that I was thinking about the work that I'm bringing to share in the second half of the show, and the work that I collect generally also kind of has that like deeply layered quality. I like density. I like complexity. I like effort. Again, in the whole conversation of art, but like I'm just attracted to like a person working really hard on something.
Yeah. And I think it shows. It comes through in the work, and like you said, we'll see the work that you gravitate towards for other people. You said you're working at a standing desk, because this is the part that I'm fascinated by, like the actual process to do this, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong as I go, it sounds like you start with the kernel of an idea, and you're gonna plan maybe the first start of it, the beginning. You're also putting a bow on it, like you said. You're gonna try to figure out how can you get it back to the origin. But you also said something fascinating, which is that it's largely unplanned or not like it's straightforward, straight ahead animation, which is different from like keyframing out or figuring out what your poses are going to be. So how is all that accurate? And also, like, how do you figure out like to go from one place to the next, especially over
let me
such a long timeline?
Back up. Like I started as a painter. I did not study animation in school, and it wasn't like my intention growing up to become an animator necessarily. But I liked reworking my drawings and my paintings over and over again, kind of like what we were just saying. Like I want to work really hard on something. I want to be perfect. And like that sort of led to what you're seeing in my work. That's sort of like keep like got to get back closer to it.
Get better.
Get better. Keep going with it. Keep going. And then I sort of fell backwards and being like, I'm making animation. Like the process of doing that is what's interesting about the work. So that is what the work is. And so when I started doing stuff like this, it was always that like, I'm not making a movie. I'm not telling a story. I'm trying to finish the picture, trying to make an interesting painting. I think I still sort of feel that way, where it's like my intention going into these pieces is not like, all right, what story do I want to tell?
Yeah.
Or like what do I want to? What was going to happen? It's more of like, what does it look like, and what are the themes and the images? What's the style, I guess, and then it just kind of keeps unfolding. And it's also like not a choice; it's instinctual, where I want to know what I'm doing. Like, so while I'm making these pieces, I'm always like, where is it going? What is this about? What is it? What am I doing? And that's kind of like what the work is also. It's like I'm constantly figuring out what the work's about as it keeps going. And then by the time it's done, it's like, oh, that was what it was. It's like the trying to figure it out is what it
Mhm.
is. And specifically with the piece I've been working on this year, I literally just looked out the window of my apartment, my house, and was like, let's start with that. Like, this is what you see every day. This is what the world looks like right now. And from there, it just sort of it, like naturally unfolded into essentially like a self-portrait piece that I did not intend going into it to do that. But I kept listening back to myself, and I kept being reinforced, like, for whatever reason, like, just draw what's in front of you. Like, and which is kind of always what I wanted my work to be about. You're looking at my work here, like, it can be very like spiritual or sort of like metaphysical, but it is ultimately always about me moving through the world. And for the piece I'm working on now, now that it's almost done, it's like, damn, this is the most literal self-portrait piece of all time. Like, every scene is my home or outside of my home.
Wow.
I'm the main figure. It's like I've been looking in the mirror a lot and taking selfies and looking, and the piece isn't done yet. I think I might add color digitally, which is unusual for me, but it feels like where it wants to go. And I'm going to just know, I guess in a year, I'll look back and be like, oh, I was obviously reflecting on blah, blah, blah. I think it has to do with AI. I think it has to do with like online identity and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Well, I think
and what's cool
there's
is
an important,
like,
there's kind of an important aspect you're not talking about, which is every frame you do is kind of destroying the previous frame. And in that sense, it's more like stop motion or claymation, where like every time you're molding this, it's forever change.
That is fascinating.
I guess the question I have, you're going through this over the course of a year. Are you simultaneously thinking about what you're doing next and also going back and reviewing what you've done and like compositing it each day and like kind of having a daily's update? And does that affect how you move forward, kind of that review process?
Yes. And that is the part that has increased over the last, I've been doing this stuff now for like 15, 20 years. The one part of my process that becomes more intense is that like editing as I go thing. I really used to, and I could go back to this, and I do kind of I play in different zones when I make my work, but this sort of like just vomit draft, just it is what it is, blah. Don't go back. Don't think about it. Just be crazy. And the last 5-6 years has been more like, make it better, refine it. So the way I think about it is like, if the film is a thread, and I guess non-animators don't, maybe everyone knows about like the video is scrolling as you watch it, right? This is the beginning, this is the end. So as I'm making it, it's like, oh, I'm here. And the way I think about it is like, it's like a lit fuse or something that's like burning down actually. And the edge of what I've been working on the last week or so, or that day, is like, it's on fire. It's like hard for me to see it. The farther I get back, I can see like it's concretized. And so what I'm working on day to day is always like, is kind of like, just put it on the page, just do it. And then as I go back, I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense now. So like, to be try to be literal about it, it's like, oh, it's me standing on the street and I'm moving, lights moving past me and like a car's going by or something. And then I look up at the sun and then I turn my head and then the background shifts to interior. And then I work on the interior for a bit and I'm like, a door opens and I'm like, oh shit, it would be way cooler if like I look up and then like the door opens. And like, you don't need the middle part. The middle part's like superfluous. It like, now looking back, I was sort of just like continue on that thread of the scene outside when you don't need it. And it doesn't hit as powerful. And I'm really just these are 1 minute pieces. I'm trying to pack in like a lot. And so a lot of it is the throwing away. Literally, I'm destroying as I draw each day, but also going back and saying, take out that part, cut right from when you look up to the next thing here, which is like, 100 drawings. It could be a week worth of work. That happens a lot. And I do think that is part of the like the painstaking, like right now I'm literally animating, like zooming into a hallway. So it's like just a door and like the hallway's going by, but I'm literally have to like redraw every single door, white out. So like in 3D space, it would just be like, But as I'm doing it with the same drawing, even redrawing it with a light box, you're just like, okay, make it bigger and bigger. But redrawing it is taking like 3 days.
Yeah.
And
So then
why am I doing this? But I think I'm doing it because the journey is the destination, right? It's personal. I think it comes through in the work that, like, I'm not a genius. I just work really hard and I'm willing to throw away. I think that is sort of like good advice for artists, like, or any creative person. Like, I think that's where like where the genius or great quality of my work comes through is like, though it's like I am letting myself spit it out, and then I have another part of my brain that can look back at it and say, like, these are the good parts. This is what you need to do. And it's painful to throw away work. It's painful to go to the studio and be like, everything you do today might be thrown away. And I think being able to work through that, or like embrace that, is important.
So wait, how do you throw something away in this type of process?
That's what I was just going to ask. I don't understand if you,
Okay. If we're looking at this piece right here, like when it just flashed to white.
Yeah.
Or flashed to white there, you'll notice they're like this sequence here. If I take things out, it's going to be completely different. But yeah, go to like whiting out or blacking out the whole screen or things like that. Make it a really easy way for me to transition. And
is that like a post effect you do, or do you go?
No, it's literally like I'm scanning in order. So it's like scan. Here, it doesn't look pretty right now, but I'll show you what.
Trying to get it to.
It the whole way. Scan 1, I scan it. I rework it. Scan 2. I rework it. Scan 3. Blah blah blah. So I have,
but if you get 50 frames ahead and you decide those 50 frames aren't right.
So it's like 0. So I get, let's say I have 50 frames there, and then I go back and I go frame 20 through 30. We don't need it.
Got it.
Because my work is fluid and abstract and like not always continuous. Like, so that's what a lot of the editing process these days. Okay. It's very hard to tell when you look at it because it is basically like this section right here. I'm reworking the black and whites of these shapes and these forms and going back in. There are definitely 30, 50 drawings that I did in here that are like, you don't need it. Like, just cut from like when it's all white to all black.
Got it.
I'm finding small details here that I ended up being like, you don't need it.
And
it's more of a gut feeling. That's what I don't know about you guys, but as an animator, like no matter how much you think about it or look at the structure of frames and all of that, like it's all about how it like looks. And it is an optical illusion and it's funky.
It's
a feeling too.
Yeah.
It's an emotional thing. That's sort of like, that's the push and pull of not just animation, right? That's an artist right there saying, this doesn't look right. This needs more color right here. And
that's
then anyone else,
what I'm doing is like, does it just feel right? There's a rhythm.
Yes.
And I can't premeditate it too much. That is to say, I've done storyboarding for like, commissions before with like music that was, that I had the time to music and timing of a show. And I did it. I did not enjoy it nearly as much as my normal process.
Sure.
It sort of felt like I'm not discovering anything. I know what I'm doing. It's just breaking it out. And in a lot of ways, it does kind of still look like my work, which I think, again, comes back to my point. Like a lot of this is maybe just like personal for me that I need to suffer for me to value what I'm doing or something.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a powerful takeaway, man. I'm curious about the actual tool that you often gravitate towards. Are we looking at pen, ink, white pen, black pen? What
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's peel it back.
This is my. I started this like it's all right here in front of me. I have 15, 20 years ago when I really was like, you don't need to do big paintings to do this effect and like kind of pare things down. You don't need a big studio, which was great, especially when you're young and don't have money. And I landed on this sort of like 9x12 working on these. This looks so dirty, you can't see what it is anymore. It's a watercolor block of paper. And so it's like a bunch of pieces of paper that are all locked in. And it was like, it's the only thing that didn't warp, was really solid enough to last for like a year. And I stopped. I started with like gesso and acrylic paint and gouache. And then I was like, whiteout actually works better. It's instant drying. And again, it's cheap. Like a lot of the story is sort of like I have a whole journey of living in North Carolina, having a painting studio, and then moving back to Boston here and living in a tiny studio apartment. And I could just go to the corner store and buy these materials. And I think I sort of fell into the, like you were saying originally, like, wow, it's so cool that like my materials are like the cheapest thing you can really work with. And they're not like fancy. They don't require like a lot of training to use them. But that I can make these magical things out of them. Anyways, so I literally I still use whiteout.
Wow.
And I buy it in bulk sometimes, but usually I just go to the store because it's like part of the ritual.
Yeah.
I get that Bic sponsorship.
I was going to say, yeah,
there's talking about this for years. Like, who the hell is buying whiteout besides me? I
didn't know whiteout still existed.
It's still, they have the CVS down the street from me. I'm like, good. I'm glad they still have it, but
I needed it the other day.
And every time I buy it, the person's like, "What are you doing?" It looks like I'm doing document fraud or something. It's like, what are you? You need like 5 bottles of whiteout. And then I used to use like Micron pens and like again all really like high quality materials. And I was like, Sharpie Ultrafine again. It's at every store. It's just as good. I can run through them, and whiteout, if you don't let it dry all the way, really fucks up your pens. So I do dry out a lot of pens. But I also like, you can see here, like this is all like really fine stippled. So like, even though I'm working on this 12, 16 by 9 image, like the unit of pixel that I make is like extremely small. I love drawing with pen on paper. I know it's so cheesy or obvious or whatever, but I really need to say it. It's so satisfying to me. You've got all this time. Every day I get up and I draw and I'm like, this feels so good, especially black ink on a white, just like white out. Like it's so graphic. It's so there. It's so permanent. It's so gratifying to me. It's like writing, I guess, for people or I don't know. And then here's my pen jar that I'm working with right now. So I am, it's just a bunch of, I do use Sharpie, standard when I'm filling up big areas sometimes, not a lot. I think I talked about this, Bryan, like months ago at this point, but I sometimes work with color when I'm doing my pieces, and then I scan in black and white. And the reason is that it allows me to keep track of different sections. Like if you watch that clip right there, and go back, there's actually like a plane or like a star moving across the sky. So that's like 60 frames in a row where I'm keeping track of just like that thing. You'll see it in a second. There it is.
Right there at the top.
So it's like while I'm shifting the waves and the trees and the face and the eyes are moving,
you would get lost, you're saying,
frame,
otherwise.
I'm still tracking that. So it's like when I'm looking framed, sometimes I'll scan it, I'll look at the previous frame and go, oh shit, I forgot to move that thing. So it's just like, when you go back and forth frame to frame, and I do that for every single frame I make, just like boop, 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 boop. It's like, oh, that thing didn't move. And so that's a whole nother like thing I do. I am colorblind. I like black and white. Again, it feels there's something like about the simplicity that I can do all this without color that I like. But I have used color. I do go back and forth. And
I think I once heard you talk about the buildup of layers that results in the physical, like thick brick of a sheet of this Bristol board or a board that's like winds up being thick layers of this stuff. And then in my brain, I'm thinking about animation. I think about strata cut, and I'm like, what if you were to scan the cuts of that and
this
see
has come up a few times, Adam. I gotta like do something about this. That like those I forget what they're called now, like electronic scan microscopes or whatever. They can like go through the Dead Sea Scrolls or something like minimal like frame, Why wouldn't we be able to do that with my pieces? It might work.
It's worth trying.
Yeah,
it could be like fucking.
It could be really cool, really cool. Especially if that work you maybe allow it to be exactly what it is. So like you would maybe see this like hot pink thing going across the sky instead of a black and white scan. You would see
totally. There's a lot of things. I've also I'm just lazy, or I feel like it is sort of that like Schrodinger's cat thing. Like if you observe it, then you won't do it. But like if I just had like a camera on my ceiling, a down shooter, just recording my desk 24 hours
Yeah.
a day, and
Or
just
if
like
you had
you
like
could
a
see the piece play out in real time as I'm like drawing it and moving it around and scanning it. Like it would play kind of like as what it is, which would be wild to see. It's just
I also notice how it's not, in that imperfection that makes it so wonderful. The frame is often moving, right? And is that a result of just the inaccuracy of where it lays, or is that like intentional, or are you like, you know what, this is a really emotional, frenetic thing, I want to make sure that I do move this a little bit more? Like what's
it
behind
goes back
the
and forth. Originally, when I started doing it, it was like because I was an amateur, honestly, and I should say that I've been an animation professor for a long time now. So like having never studied it and not expecting to do it, now I have taught it for a long time. And yeah, one thing you have to do a lot with like early animators is like register your frames better, or like if you're doing stop mo, like weight your camera down. Like that's shaking is driving me crazy.
it works though.
There is something about it psychologically which I like. That it feels raw, and I do flip books too. I've shared a lot of those. Like there's something cool about the kinetic quality of like seeing an animation not be like completely clean and like registered on in the film. But most of the reason why it happens for my work now is that it's textured. That's why I don't take photographs. That's why I scan it, because when I photograph the work, the shadows cast by the texture and the lighting make it like really anal to keep it consistent. And so scanning just is always like full, same lighting, same, but it has texture on the surface. So it's like, it's actually really wild. If you blow these up full screen, even on your computer, you will be able to see like the whole drawing is actually kind of wobbly like this. Like it's not flat. And when people see my work in real life, like I got, just on a TV screen in a gallery, or especially when it's like immersive space, they're like, holy shit, this thing's like, I thought the TV was going to fall off the wall. It's like, is the TV moving? And it's because it's got that like jitter.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of the quality of my work. That it's like, it's to me now, but to me now, it's always like, this is real.
Yeah, it gives a handmade
feel. Yeah.
Yeah,
and like,
you can feel the person, the humanity behind it.
And so I like that. I do try really hard to not like, I don't like embrace it. So I often will scan them in, and sometimes they're like way off. And I'm like, that's like a jump cut in the film. It's like way too much. But when it's like, I'm like, okay, leave it. It's fine. And sometimes it's talking about those unintended things. It's like that example. It's kind of made up example, but like I look up at the sun and then I'm in my house. If like one of those frames where I'm looking up sort of like is like a little bit registered off, and it actually helps the fluidity of the animation. It's like things are jumping, or like the drawing kind of hiccuped. Like, so I embrace that. And these are all kind of getting like, why don't I just work digitally? Like you could do the same technically kind of thing with just like reworking a Photoshop file over and over again. And these are some of the reasons. We're just like, I like the tactile quality. Even again with these pieces too, if you look at them close up, you can see paper peeling. You can see the dust, the whiteout kind of crumbling. You can see sometimes I smudge the scanner and there's like like a glare, like kind of smudge. Most people, you really have to look closely to notice these things. But I think in totality, they give you this quality of like, this thing was real. And then how did this person do that? Like the amount of time and like what it is, I think subconsciously sort of reveals itself to the viewer. And I like that. And I think a lot of my work is about just what it is, like how it's made, what it is. That's what it's about. So I wanted to communicate that as much as possible.
I know we're getting near the halfway point, but I had a question about some of the works. It looks like you're maybe using an X-Acto blade and cutting out pieces and moving them around physically as well.
Yeah. Collage. The one we just previously saw, Paper Trail, is literally a lot of collage elements. Sometimes
when you do that, you're cutting into this brick and pulling it off. Are you then redrawing under it?
Yeah, this piece is like, it starts out with all the pieces laid down, then I draw on them, then you'll see every 10 seconds I rip them all off and replace them. rip them off and replace them.
Wow.
Rip them off and replace them.
And
And
there's one we saw earlier that had like some heads, and the heads like split off and moved around.
Grain Lapse, I did that also. There's actually like wood grain samples and gold foil and masking tape that I'm cutting up. The X-Acto knife I use, even with the pieces that are just black and white drawing, because the surface gets uneven. And this is starting. I think I can get away with this piece I'm working on now without doing it, but I might have to. It gets so thick in like typically the center that it becomes like a seesaw of a drawing where like I can't lay it flat, and I just like I gotta just shave that off with an X-Acto knife. And I like people say that I think a lot of my work is trying to imitate like woodblock prints or like linoleum cut prints, and I do think of them in that way of like they're solid, like fine line, you know, like you could carve each line. So when I X-Acto out, like it feels very natural. And what's cool about this paper, like a block of paper like this, is that there's paper underneath it. So I can cut a piece out and there will be just paper like there.
Have you ever tried making like a wood or a rubber stamp in your style?
I have. This is, I don't do it as much anymore. I mean, I don't do anything else as much anymore because this is like my life's mission, Brian.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Especially now, I feel like when I'm doing these pieces, like the older I get with my kids, it's like, I can't just do exactly what I'm doing right now for the rest of my life. Like I'm going to age out of it. I kind of feel like, but you know, in the hype of like, what was it, 2021, 22, someone like scoured the internet for all my old pieces and found a woodblock print I made like when I was a teenager on Etsy. I was like, oh yeah, I was like really into printmaking back then. I totally like forgot I had done it. And I love, I love, again, talking about like drawing on paper, like cutting like a linoleum like out or carving woodblock is very satisfying. I should do more of it.
It'd be fun to bring to like a convention where you could just basically like stamp people's stuff instead of a sticker.
Yes. You're so much better at the merch stuff than me. The truth is, like, I want to do all that. Lazy is the wrong word. It's like you're
focused on what's in front of you.
You're not lazy. I mean, if anything, looking at this work, I hesitate to use that word.
I just feel like sometimes I forget about like kind of world building or thinking about my work in a totality and sort of like my brand.
I'm always very impressed with your North Star and how you've continued to add more and more to that. What do you like 50 different iterations of that now?
I think we're more at like 35, 40, but yeah, that's
very
been
impressive.
Awesome. Because I was saying like this year, I was like, I haven't done any new work except this thing I've been drawing. I'm not sharing anything. I was like, actually, you've done like 4 or 5 new North Star. And are like some of my favorites actually, which is really cool too. Yeah. And if I could just, I guess, explain this briefly.
Well, please do.
It's one that's listed for 10th. Pretty ambitious there, is like the OG North Star. And then it's on a doppelganger contract where I can keep adding variations of this piece. So that's this is one of my last kind of major projects that's informing what I'm doing now. I really think when I make these 1-minute pieces or these 5-second loops, they're just like the beginning of something. They're the sheet music of it. So what I'm working on now is like, it is a 1-minute film, but it really is all this source material. Like I'm going to be posting I can already tell, and I know what they're going to be, like 1 second, 5 second, 10-second loops from this piece that are probably going to get more views and likes than the full piece ever will. I'm going to color it, whether the final version has color or not. Like there will be opportunities to show it or share it in color. And I really, as a digitally native artist, like, well, why not? Like, it helps me like understand the work more. And so I really do feel like this last year of working on this one piece is like, it's not just one piece. Like every cool moment that I've had on its own is like its own work. And so this piece is really cool because I can keep adding to it forever. A lot of it is just like, as a collector, you can show it in different formats or like different views. But the ones I've been doing this year, I feel like I'm like really transforming the piece. And
it all feels like really smart marketing too, because it just gives you more content to post of the same work.
I don't think about it as marketing at all, but that you're right.
Brian is, if nothing else, Brian is
yeah.
incredibly good at that.
Well, I've seen how
100%.
like this and some of the other pieces have influenced the works that came after, whether it was kind of the soft piece you did, or the avant art piece you did, or the flip books and how you've worked with those. To me, this is like you're experimenting with content and then seeing how that reacts.
Yeah, and it's good. I'm looking at this one right now. Like I know Blondie is one of the collectors who has that. So the collector can set the North Star to look like any version they want. It's an on-chain transaction, but you could keep changing it. But obviously, a lot of collectors pick the one they like and kind of sit there. But like when a collector who likes rainbow-colored work or like it's like they can find themselves in the edition in their own way.
Right.
And like I just did one that's like pixelized and kind of reflects more of like the pixel art and kind of glitch animation. It's like, oh, like again, not thinking about it marketing, but I guess it is sort of a marketing tactic as an artist where it's like you can reach different audiences with the work in different ways. And still it's sort of like the totality is greater than any one part of it, which is cool.
No, it's very inspiring. Cool. And yeah, you're getting the most out of, because like you said, you can only make one of these a year. And so you can't just keep showing a 1-minute clip on Twitter. So this gives you 30 different,
although I do
show a different piece every day a month, I
don't shill, but I would say like maybe more than other artists, I'm like happy to share the same work over and over.
Yeah, no, it's important.
You also never know who's going to see it. Like we often as artists feel like a little annoying being like, hey, look at this thing. But like you're relying on an algorithm where someone happens
to me. And we're all on the same timeline. Like it's refreshing whenever I just see art by an artist I like. And it's like, I can like something. And it's just like actually why I'm on this app.
Yeah. Think of it like a timeline beautification. We're just like improving people's experiences to change it up from all the dread.
What's cool is people psychologically place what I'm posting into the mood, right? So it's like if I post that, some of these pieces when things are going badly with price action or whatever, people just interpret it as like a commentary. It's like,
well, people like to read into things, but speaking of beautification of our timelines, let's see some art from other people and see if that can refresh our timeline here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. A little show and tell. All right. Can you hear me? Here's the question. Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Sometimes it just magically disappears. All right.
Sometimes it cuts out a little bit.
It cuts out right here when I start.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But anyway.
It's starting to, but yeah, let's keep trying.
Hey, am I back yet? Am I here?
You're good. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so this is the part of the show where each of us has brought 3 pieces of art that we've either collected from other artists or we think is just really awesome and deserving of a bigger spotlight. Later after the show, on our Twitter, Art First Show on Twitter, we'll post links to all the things that we've showed today and Jake's work and everything else, and you can give some love to them. But let's start it off here with Jake, with your first pick is boom. This piece right here, Carnival.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be really quick so we don't run out of time. But
you
prompted me to find artists with a lower, like under 10,000 followers on Twitter.
I did. Yeah.
That maybe I collected from or really appreciate. So I never really look at follower count. So I went to look and then went through my collection and I found this is a great opportunity to just highlight work I love that I've collected. Most of the pieces I shared with you are like several years old at this point. And talking about sharing on the timeline, we need to find more reasons to share work that we've collected from the past. Yes. And so this is by Kitasavi. Love this piece. Love this artist. One of the first artists I collected one-on-ones from when I joined the space. And it's hopefully it all loads. It's really it's dense. Like we were saying earlier, it's dense. Yeah. I like the complexity of it. I think his work is super interesting because it's balances between a lot of different things. It's 3-dimensionally created. It's like 3D space, but the work is a 2-dimensional image. It's hyper abstract and almost looks like from far away, like a abstract expressionist painting or something. But if you zoom in and look closely, there's all these figures. It's actually very figurative. These are sort of mythological, strange creatures. It's like controlled chaos. There's a lot of skill here, but like it seems very free and wild. It's even got like his name sort of like mixed into it. And I like work that just kind of punches you in the face, to be honest with you.
No, it's
and you can
really
make then my work is kind of trying to do that. And so when I see this work, always it never sits still for me. It's sort of animated, like in the way it moves my eye around. And the really cool thing is the artist shared with me after I collected it, like because it's 3D, like I saw views of it like from the side and behind, and it's just like cool. This wild, like braided,
just tangled mess.
Yeah, it looks like it. I wonder if it was made in VR. It looks like it.
I think something like like a ZBrush or VR space sort of, where the people are really being really calligraphic with the 3D.
I love
marks.
That. Really cool.
I just love it.
And really nice textures and stuff. Like the blue shirt on the left has more of a like
almost like clay,
noisy texture versus like the shiny smooth stuff. Really cool piece.
It's just weird. I just want to say that too. It's ambiguous. Like it's not just like you show this to my 5-year-old kid. It's like it's cute, but it's also like what the fuck? Like it's strange. I really appreciate that in the work.
This is really cool. It reminds me of those like I Spy books.
Yeah.
Which I love. It's so stupid, but spending time with art, like where you're just forced to like look at something in a museum or like I just enjoy that getting lost in an image.
Yeah, and the colors flow really nicely together.
Good find.
Yeah. All right, we'll do it. I'm going to put it in there. Good stuff. Yes. There it is. All right, Bryan, we're going to move on to one of your pieces that you like here. Let's see this piece right here.
I'm doing another throwback as well to a piece I collected a couple years ago. This is a piece by Giselle Flores, who does a lot of in-camera effects. And this was made for the CryptoCubes Creators project that used to be on Nifty, but recently Han, who runs it, Han RGB, has started migrating them off that contract to their own contract, which inspired me to go and do that with this piece and maybe re-look at it and reappreciate it. That whole collection is really phenomenal with some really cool works from all sorts of people that we're friends with. And I think Han's just a really smart dude. And I think it's worth kind of just diving into the whole CryptoCubes world. But yeah, I mean, Giselle's such an OG and doing really cool stuff. I love that this piece is like the cube is within this like rock with some interesting like in-camera lighting effects going on as well. I'm not exactly sure how she made it, but it has that kind of stop motion feel to it as well.
Yeah, it looks like tiger's eye.
Have you done it?
What's that?
Have you participated in the CryptoCube project?
I did one that was in like kind of my neon flicker fusion style, which is probably the most complicated one I ever did. It was like super highly detailed piece, but yeah, I'm not sure. That's one of those weird pieces that I never found out who exactly collected it. It's someone on Nifty that never linked their accounts, has never moved it off. I'm very curious if they migrate with this new news. That might help me figure out who collected it.
It's very cool.
But it was really fun. But I mean, yeah, that project had like Rafik Anadol and Snowfro and Fuckrender and all these people. I mean, it's just a really cool collection. I know he's going to continue. His goal is to have every single CryptoCube accounted for over time with its own artist rendition.
Yeah, I saw the space with RD. Maybe it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It was very informative because it's a project I've heard about since I got in the space. And like a lot of things in the space, I'm always like, it's so complicated. I'll never figure out what's actually going on. That space was really like, okay, now I get it. And it sounds like only like half or like a little, maybe more than half have been created so far. So it's got many years ahead of it, which is really cool. I like.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, now that it's free of Nifty, I think it can continue more because I think they were kind of in this like standstill once Nifty shifted on how to go about it.
Small releases, yeah. I think these collaborative projects are one of the highlights of the whole. Space.
Hopefully someday maybe we'll get a Jake CryptoCube.
There you go.
When?
We're lobbying for it right now. All right. We to be mindful of time, I'm going to keep going forward. Ironic, not ironic, but like every one of these we could really just spend deep dives on. But here we go. Let's move on. We've got this piece here. I did not collect, but I thought was really beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, East Bay Ballet. Nice day, Jules. Wop Shop is the owner. A really personal piece. I was reading up on Twitter and all about this, and it was a commission and what it meant to them. And I don't know. I'm fascinated by Jules' process. Like I love the way So you see a lot of like glitch style art, but like there's something else that's going on here in terms of the way that the colors flow, the way it feels. Um, just there's a beauty to it, and I don't know. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to spotlight this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. And
It
shout
really
out to
is.
Jules. I see he's in the audience, but like, again, very much like Jake, he's someone who does things the hard way,
Yeah.
like going out and filming this versus like making it in AI and like, seeing how he's like building sets and doing all the stuff. Like,
The process
he's
matters.
approaching things like a director or a photographer,
Mhm.
and then running it through all of this.
Yeah,
Cool
and you
effects
guys were in
digitally.
Marfa. Was this played out in Marfa when he
It
had
might be
his?
analog though as well, because I know he uses kind of like a lot of in-screen effects as well. I'm not sure if this one might have been played in Marfa. I know some of the other works were. I
I
don't
know
know.
the
I feel like
flowers.
this
I like
one
the-
sold after Marfa, I
It's
think.
Yeah, I like that. It looks like it's being displayed on one of those giant billboard screens
sure.
that have that sort of like
It,
pixelated quality to it. I
yeah.
live near the theater district in Boston here, and it's like you just have these big screens with stuff in that like kind of like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like 50 pixels by 50 pixels, but huge. And when I saw his display in Marfa, I was like, oh, this aesthetic makes sense for like large outdoor
hmm
screen work, like at night. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited to see where Jules takes his work in the next couple of years because
Same.
it's a really interesting evolution.
The flowers project, I didn't fully understand it until recently. Like I liked it and I thought it was really interesting. But then he was on a show with RD the other day. They deep dove into the whole thing, and I was like, it clicked, and I was like, this is really
yeah.
awesome.
And shout out to our past guest
Yeah,
Olivia, who just did a whole
Those are
set of
dope.
flowers
Yeah.
for it.
they're so good. Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Jake, your next piece is right here. Okay.
Ooh.
Fools.
Yeah, this is by an artist, Milaya. I think I'm saying that correctly. Again, a piece I just love. I collected 2 pieces from this series called like New Rave or something. This to me is like, I'm always like, what is digital art, or what does art look like? It's a very like, what does art look like in 2020, the 2020s?
Yeah.
And to me, this piece like really hits like, and kind of it's like
Cool.
there's a lot kind of going on, and it's ambiguous. It's silly but scary. The colors are beautiful, but also like acidic or kind of like overwhelming. I always see this scene almost as like a Last Supper kind of like motif. And there's like a figure that sort of looks like a hoodie punk or something, like vomiting on the table. Or, it's just like, for whatever reason, I was like, this feels like a really authentic expression. Like, it's not trying to be kind of, it feels very like, like an authentic kind of beautiful expression. It kind of looks airbrushy, but it's got very clear digital, like, distortion on it. And then these like 3D motifs that are sort of laid on top again, create this sort of like 2D, 3D confusion. It's just different, and really stood out to me, and it still does. And I think just the title and the visual punch of the image, it to me is just like everything. Essentially,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Feels like a fever dream of a computer. Like it feels incredibly digitally native, but also reminiscent of like early AI, where and I don't know that this is AI, but it feels like that early AI aesthetic where you said make a human, and then you were like, oh gosh, no, oh my god, no, okay. You don't know what
much much like the previous one that Jake shared, it has that feel that it was crafted by a hand. Right.
Yeah,
even though there's a lot of digital effects.
I think both artists Kitasavi and Milaya, are from like Eastern Europe. So I think there's like a real folk art quality to that. That's where my family's from too, and I just sort of like relate. There's something about these pieces that feel, sort of like old world European kind of quality. I like.
Very cool, man.
Right. Good.
All right,
Good stuff.
Bryan,
What
you
do I
are
got?
up. Oh, hold on. You can't say good
Oh.
stuff and have me not put it up, sir. Come on now.
All right.
Bryan, you're next.
What did I pick next?
You picked Rascal.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is
this-
Rascal X new project, which I believe is minting or just about to close the minting, and then they're going to do this like gamification to release the rest of them. But it's called Winions. If you're in Marfa, he had like bricks and spray paint and all these things hidden around that you could find. I minted a few of these because I'm a part of the previous Rascal X one, and I managed to get this cool death guy. But it's worth looking at the whole collection. I thought Rascal X did a really fun job on this, kind of creating a little minion collection.
It's very fun.
Winion.
Winion.
Yeah.
Are we winioning yet, son? It's very good. It's I like
this one's fun. I mean, I got one of the 3 deaths. I got lucky on my mint.
Cool.
But there's a whole bunch of cool ones.
Yeah, Adam, can you tell me like the item, like all the items from the collection at once?
Let's do it.
A variety of them. All right, word. How many are there?
It's like 439.
I believe it'll be 666 total.
Okay.
439 right now. Looks like they all have this like fun glitch aesthetic. This one is
stylistically they're all
I
experimental.
like the diversity of
This is fun. I like this one right here. This little guy. That's cool. I saw some of the activations on from Marfa looked really cool. Like being like kind of scavenger hunt-esque. All right. Here we go. Let's see what else we got. This piece right here by Mr. Ritchie. Been doing a whole series lately, like in this. So this is just Hodl It. I don't own it. Flying Beagle owns it, but I really love the aesthetic that he's been working in lately, and it's there's been a whole series of these, and I love the colors. I love the punch. I love the magazine. It feels like a zine, right? It feels very very fun and appropriate for the space in terms of, obviously we're looking at 2 of the heavyweights, right? But just from like that sort of minimal animated aesthetic, but with almost like a cut paper feel.
Yeah. No,
like
I like
posters.
I got to meet Mr. and Mrs. Ritchie when I was in
nice
Paris earlier this year, and lovely people. And I just think his style, like you said, it pops. But to me, it also kind of embodies this OG punk crypto art feel that we don't see as much these days. But his work really lives in that aesthetic really well.
Yeah, I've been following this artist for a few years. They had a Transient Labs project maybe a couple of years ago that was really cool. And talking about like getting lost, there's just so many details and things to read and different things going on. But yeah, to me, it's got that like, there is something punk rock about the sketchbook quality about it, like kind of like the way you draw in high school or in your notebooks. Like it's just raw expression and emotion, and sort of like taking magazines and doodling on top of them and things like that. That I do really appreciate. And what does crypto art look like? It's such a interesting kind of question, and I think we see lots of different versions of it. But this is definitely a subgenre that I think is important.
All right, very cool. We're going to keep going.
Good pick.
Thank you. All right, here we are. Jake, this is your last one for today. I got to switch accounts.
No.
Okay. Shift de Hero?
Yes.
Wrong. It fits the aesthetic that you like, which is right there in your face. It is everything. I love that.
Yeah, so I like, again, being an artist that collects in this space, it's also like, I collect what I like, and I do think ultimately like it informs my work, and hopefully like people see kind of what I'm interested in. But yeah, I definitely like a gut punch, and I like detail, and I like pieces that feel monumental, honestly. Like all the pieces we're seeing are on a screen, and my work is, you see it on a screen, but I imagine them all like large in space or in my mind. So this artist, again, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Martine Bruce, is pretty prolific and makes great work and should be more popular in the space. I think they do a lot of stuff on Tezos, but I just love the way they use these mark making tools that we see on like Photoshop, to sort of create a painterly effect. And if you follow their work, they actually paint real paintings in this quality too, almost like a Photoshop brush in real paintings.
wow.
And to me, it's got that
That's
push and
cool.
pull between being like, oh, he's like dragging a shape as a brush,
Yeah.
a 3D sphere, but it's like organic and kind of like silly and wild, but also like feels like icing on a cake or sort of filigree detail. And yeah, when I saw this piece, I was like, oh, this is like a landscape or like a brain cut open, or like, I don't know what to make of this. I like it. It also feels like it's moving. I think that might be a theme to stuff I like. That it's just like
energy, so much motion.
It makes me. It's what I want my work to do, even when my work is paused. It's just like,
I love that.
It feels like it's alive. And yeah, I like work that I can't nail down, and this to me is like just really interesting.
This feels like static glitch art.
Yeah.
I own another work by him that's literally like a paint smear. It's a GIF. It's a paint smear in like a courtyard. Looks like just like a errant snapshot of a courtyard, and it's a paint smear, and it's all just like jittery, and it's like, what is this? I don't know. It's
I love that.
It's like glitching reality, but it's poetic and beautiful and understated, and it's work that's not trying to like tell you something. It's like it's making you sort of confront it and deal with it on just an aesthetic level, which I really dig it.
Very cool.
Find. I'm gonna dig into their work.
All right, we have 2 more pieces left. We're gonna speed run them. Here we go, Bryan. This piece right here.
All right. So I don't have it sitting in front of me, but this is Bard Jansen, OG AI artist in the space. What I liked about this was a piece I got at Marfa. He basically was running a GAN, I believe, on a screen, and basically had a big button you could press, and you could just watch this morph. And at any point you press the button, and that version spit out a physical that had a QR code that allowed you to save the physical and get the NFT. And I just thought that was such a cool activation. Yeah. And the collection, if you go look at it, it's a bunch of like bones in the sky is the name of the collection. Is literally a bunch of generative bones flying in the sky, and it's like very much like a 2001 Space Odyssey or something. But I just thought, one Bard is great, always thinking of really cool stuff, and then that activation of this big button spitting out this physical fidgetal was really smart.
Very cool, man. All right,
that's
speed
awesome.
run.
Best movie ever made, and such a clear tie-in from like the early tool making to AI. That's a nice, brilliant little concept.
GANs. There's not enough GAN work anymore, right? Like I feel like now that things have become so easy with AI.
Stable.
Yeah, but it's really cool when you see the GAN work. Yeah. Last but not least is a piece that I just thought was really incredible. And as we're talking about loops, this is Perfect Loop. Fill tool. I also, I love the nostalgia of, I grew up with, as most of us did, or a lot of us of a certain age, using Microsoft Paint for way more things than it was ever intended to be. And so seeing something like this is just like, it pulls at the nostalgia heartstrings. Like I love it, and it's really well executed.
Yeah.
And, it's great. And I love having the interface as a part of it.
And I think we all did that thing where we would take the line tool and put it all over the screen and then use the fill tool in it.
Exactly. The fill tool.
I still remember how gratifying that was and how cool it was. It's still cool.
It was so cool. It was instant art, right? Like you would drop this in, you'd go, "Ooh, look! I just did it. I made art."
Yeah. Digital nostalgia is so like such a thing right now. It's really interesting, I'm so Perfect Loop is one of the current residents at AOTM, and I'm going to talk with them in a couple weeks. I've been meeting a lot with these residents over the past couple of years. It's like the best thing. So I'm excited to talk with them more in person and hear about their work. I think what I've heard them speak, they just work pretty intuitively. They just kind of come up with concepts and play with them and see what happens. And I like that method of working and just sort of like playing and seeing where it goes.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. His work hits me in the feels every time. It's just like he must be our age.
I don't know, not necessarily.
Same cultural nostalgia.
I heard the what are they called now?
I lost track
youngest,
of what gen we're
the
at.
youngest
Yeah.
generation, like early 20s, they're like all listening to vinyl records and using like early Macintosh computers for fun. So it's
Yeah.
hard to know.
Very cool. All right, so that is the gist of our show today. I mean, I want to be respectful of time. We're up on time now. But before we go, I do want to ask. Obviously, you've got something you've been working on for a very long time now. But anything else you want to plug or put out there?
Yeah, so I'm working on this piece. Ideally, it will be done next year and be a big part of what I share. So I'm looking forward to that. North Star, again, is like an addition that I constantly will always be adding to. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's a little funny. I'm going to just like mention it briefly because it's coming out next week. I'm not doing a lot of speaking before that, but I did inscribe my first ordinal over the summer.
Woo! Okay. All right.
That?
And
Alpha.
Exciting.
yeah, exactly. So it's out there already if you can find it. But I did a part of this project about Bitcoin. It should be kind of rolling out finally next week that I can share more about it.
Oh yeah, is it Smash Toshi?
Yeah, exactly.
We're
So there's been a
both in
whole
that book,
journey
dude.
there where I'm actually getting a piece shipped to me from Christie's like tomorrow.
Wow. Nice.
Which is but yeah, I worked on this piece like 18 months ago. I'm really into what I did and the project, and I think it should be exciting, and I'm excited to share it. And so we have
Can't wait to
that,
see
and
it.
then
Gonna
just
be
keep
great.
an eye on my feed.
I think there's a book release party in London like this week or next week.
I think it's next week, and then
next week.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting
If anybody's
basically
in London
to-
listening, look up Asprey.
There you go.
I believe they're doing the event.
Also, yeah, like we don't. I have to go right now, but like the Art Basel stuff in Miami, like it's exciting. Shit's happening, and
Dude, shit is happening.
so like, let's all stay in touch over the winter, and I'll see you guys again soon. I'm sure.
Amazing.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you everybody for watching, tuning in, and we will be back next week. Until then, have a good day and have a great Artful Friday. Take care, everybody.